you know, when it's 8 o'clock and, you know, maybe you see it, but maybe you're working on something at that time. So you don't text back until the following day. There's a good chance that she might wonder, like, you know, hey, what is he doing? Like, is he out with somebody else? Like, is somebody else after him? Like, he's probably talking to other girls. He's probably a catch. See, when she's wondering stuff like this will cause her to pursue more because she'll want to know if it's really true. I had one girl that I was dating blow up on me one time for doing just this. You know, I was working on something, I saw her text, but I didn't text back until the following day. And then once I did, literally 2 minutes later, I got a text in big, bold letters, "Do you have a girlfriend?" So that just goes to show you, gents. Hello world, Prince here, and welcome to my channel, Gentlemen and Scholars, where we discuss dating, style, personal development, and so much more. If you're new to the channel, definitely consider taking a look around, liking and subscribing. As you know, it helps with the algorithm, it helps the channel to grow, and really does work to facilitate that strong, tight-knit community. So, you know, for today's topic, we're gonna be going over something a little bit different today. We're gonna be going over how to make her think of you constantly. And really, I was able to pinpoint 5 different things that stood out in my mind, and I know will be super helpful for you. So definitely make sure you stay tuned until the end, because this is a really good one. But you know, without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump into today's video. All right, so jumping right in the video, you know, really the first thing that's going to be important for really facilitating her thinking about you all the time, that is going to be, well, time. See, seduction in general takes time. So you really shouldn't be expecting this to happen overnight. And oddly enough, the more you just relax and take your time, the more quickly she'll be thinking about you constantly. So this means, you know, the more you slow down, relax, take your time, and do things right, the easier everything will be. But conversely, the more that you do wrong and the more red flags that come up, the more she will slow down and test. And this, of course, will be a delay in the seduction. So when in doubt, just take your time. This goes for setting the date. I mean, the date doesn't have to be tomorrow. This goes for texting. I mean, you don't have to respond back every 5 minutes. You can wait till later, bro, like it's okay. And this, of course, goes for validation. You know, saying stuff like, I love you, and, you know, just giving her constant validation. Slow your roll on that. This should definitely wait until she's earned this type of treatment. See, thing number 2 to consider, you know, when you're trying to get her to, you know, be thinking about you constantly, this is going to be, she needs to be in love. I mean, if you really want this level of attraction from a woman, she needs to be in love with you, bro. And again, this really does not happen overnight. This is something that can take a while. I mean, when I say a while, I'm talking months. It usually takes about 2 at least, but I mean, it can be quicker, but it definitely doesn't happen overnight. And if you're unsure if she's at this point yet, I mean, you should definitely be able to tell, because you guys will be hanging out, you know, probably several times a week. At this point, she'll be initiating either all the texting or at least a very large portion of it. And before I forget, also, if you're trying to get her to this point quickly, you're going to want to seduce her. In other words, you're going to want to be hooking up with her. Really, the sooner that you cross this line, the more quickly that she'll fall for you. So thing number 3 to consider when you're trying to get a woman to be thinking about you constantly, well, she is going to need to be associating good feelings with being around you. Put simply, you guys should be having fun. And this is in your hands, gentlemen. This falls on you. You should be the one planning the dates and setting up a good time. See, women love when men take this into their own hands. And if she asks what we're doing, see me, I usually just say something like, hey, don't worry about it. You know, just relax, put on something sexy, and I'll take it from there. And they love that, because if you think about it, it's kind of like the woman's fantasy of sort of being swept off their feet. So I mean, really just focus on having a good time with her, and maybe later doing a little hooking up. But you know, just focus on having a good time, taking things slow, and everything will sort of fall into place. So thing number 4 to consider when you're trying to get her to be thinking about you constantly, this is going to be, you know, you're going to need FaceTime with her. And see, I figured I'd mention this one because I know there are a lot of you guys out there that spend a ton of time just texting women. And really, if you're trying to get a woman to the point where she's thinking about you constantly, this is not the most effective or quickest way to go. If you guys do end up texting, I would be immediately setting up dates. If you want her addicted, you're going to want to be spending time together, you know, having real experiences, and most importantly, having fun together. And after a while, you'll become her escape. You'll become the one guy that she knows she can go to and have a great time. And this is when she begins to fall for you. She'll be talking to her friends about you and about how great you are. And if you're doing what I teach, they'll be agreeing with her. Because I mean, most guys just don't know this stuff. And in the end, this will deepen the relationship between you two. And she will be thinking about you constantly. And last but not least, thing number 5 to consider when you're trying to get her to the point where she's thinking about you always, this is going to be mysterious. Don't be too readily available. And again, take your time. See guys, here's a little known secret. See, part of a woman thinking about you constantly, there's a small part of that where there's a slight fear of other women coming out and pursuing you. And here's the thing, believe it or not, this is actually a good thing. I mean, you want her wondering about this. You know, when it's 8 o'clock and, you know, maybe you see it, but maybe you're working on something at that time. So you don't text back until the following day. There's a good chance that she might wonder, like, you know, hey, what is he doing? Like, is he out with somebody else? Like, is somebody else after him? Like, he's probably talking to other girls. He's probably a catch. See, when she's wondering stuff like this will cause her to pursue more because she'll want to know if it's really true. I had one girl that I was dating blow up on me one time for doing just this. You know, I was working on something, I saw her text, but I didn't text back until the following day. And then once I did, literally 2 minutes later, I got a text in big bold letters, "Do you have a girlfriend?" So that just goes to show you, gents. So anyway, with that, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. If you do have any questions for me, definitely feel free to give a shout. Or go ahead and drop my email in the box down below. So definitely take a look at that. And definitely let me know down below in the comments section, you know, what do you guys think about this? Have you ever gotten a woman to the point where she's constantly thinking about you? You know, are you trying to get a woman to that point as we speak? Definitely let me know down below. And until next time, gentlemen and scholars.